So like, when we talk about it being the greatest time to invest and the greatest time to own assets, this is not theoretical. This is actual facts. Right? We watched an asset in 2021 be $20,000 and currently sit at $122,000.
I mean, even before that, you know,
but just the time of since we had the show.
The first time that I personally put money into Bitcoin,
it was
$5,000.
That was November of 17.
It was $5,000.
Yeah, I think I was
the first time I saw it. It was the first time I ever saw it. It was $300, and it was
that's what I say. Back in the day, Bitcoin going to 500 was like a big event.
Well, the story. But there's a story that I'm gonna tell from this. So the first time I put money into Bitcoin was $5,000, right? And at that time, people were saying 5,000 was ridiculous for something that's not even real. And then it gets to 10,000. Then it got to 20,000. Then it's like, yo, this is the tulip scam of 1909. This is the dumbest thing ever. So it's all perspective. At 5,000, people couldn't understand it. Also, at 5,000, people were saying that you were too late. That's what a lot of people, even with me, it was like, well, you're late because this has been around for years and people got in at 500. Like, you paying $5,000 for something. Why would you do that? So it's all relative. It's important to keep that in perspective. There's going to always be arguments about it being too much and that you're too late. Even when I was like, okay, this is going to be the in my investment choice of the year, people are like, okay, well, it's already $90,000, $85,000. Why what's the upside? Well, if you can get 33% rate of return in 6 months, and it's still going to go up. Like, you know what I mean?
13% else. Yeah,
exactly.
The same reasons we just said that NVIDIA has a 4 to 5 year run. We could say 4 to 5 years. There's no time limit on Bitcoin. And right, like you got to figure like that appreciation. The last Bitcoin is going to be mined in, was it 2042? We're in 2025. That's 17 years away.
And I'll say this run would not have happened without the institution and the centralization of it.
100%.
And please don't come for me. I've been investing since 2009. I've seen a lot. It does not make me the foremost expert on anything. I have created freedom for myself before I got to talking online. Without BlackRock and Vanguard, this run wouldn't have happened.
Which is why you don't see that drastic fall off that we've seen in the past.
And we used to have.
Yeah.
Or your Bitcoin don't get taken like mine did in Mt. Gox when you were selling Melaleuca coffee. Some of y'all need to stop talking and put up some results like Detroit did.
Right. We saw that 2018, it climbed up to 18,000, dropped down to 3. Right. We saw it climb up to 40,000, dropped down to 20. We're not seeing those drastic pullbacks.
No.
There's institutional investing.
A
lot of whales.
I think we still got some political derailing that could potentially happen. We'll see. But okay, so the next thing is gonna be like, well, you can't get the 10,000% rate of return that you once got. Probably not. But there's still room for upside growth. And that's what makes MicroStrategy so interesting, because now that's a more risk play that people are taking with leverage. And then you could add options on top of that, where that was his whole thing to begin with. Because before you couldn't even run option plays on like Bitcoin ETF at one point. So that was his position even 2 years ago of like, we're leveraged. That's going to give you higher rate of return than traditional Bitcoin, even though it's kind of like tracking Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up 20%, you could probably get 35% in MicroStrategy, let's just say. But then you can also do options on MicroStrategy and then turn that into 100%. So there are ways to still, long story short, addressing a question that I know is going to be asked. There are ways to leverage rates of return to actually even grow even higher while still investing in the Bitcoin space. That's up to you to see if your risk reward ratio and if it's worth it, and if you have the risk tolerance, and obviously do your own research, and you're responsible for any decision that you make. But there are ways that you can still accelerate your growth in investments outside of just putting money inside of Bitcoin and then just buying and holding it.
What are the cons of investing in MicroStrategy?
Well,
Right, because if I'm only asking because in my mind, I'm sure people are thinking that too. Like, hey, if crypto does have a slight pullback, which it probably will, I'm not saying that it'll be a drastic, a 50% pullback or a 60% like we've seen. They buy it at the current price, and if let's say 2026, which everybody in that cycle seems to be a year or has historically been a year where it draws down just a little bit before obviously it starts to appreciate again in that cycle. If they're buying at current prices and for 6 months it's below the price that they bought at,